right, let's look at this problem. We've got an artist started with some paint bottles. The artist buys the same number of additional bottles each week. The table shows the linear relationship between X, the number of weeks, and Y, the number of bottles that the artist has. Okay, how many bottles did the artist have at the start? As you may know by now, I like to look at all the answers first and see if I can eliminate anything, and I really can't. I just don't know. So we're going to have to check everything here. All right, so there's a few ways to solve this. I'm going to show you just what came to mind for me initially. So looking at this, I see, okay, 4 weeks. This artist had 25 bottles of paint. In 7 weeks, they had 34. And, you know, I'm just recreating the table. So I just kind of spent a little bit of time with it. I saw, okay, well, in 3 weeks' time, 4 to 7, this is 3 weeks, they had bought 34 minus 25. They bought 9 bottles. So they bought 9 bottles in 3 weeks. Okay? And which is equal to 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3 bottles per week. Okay? But I wanted to make sure that I was doing it right. So I did 7 to 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 5 weeks. They bought 49 minus 34 is 15. So in 5 weeks, they bought 15 bottles. 15 divided by 5, again, is 3. So I felt confident that they bought 3 bottles a week. So because of that, then I could go, okay, well, if they had 25 bottles in week 4, that means in week 3 they must have had 3 bottles left. So that would be 3 bottles left, 3 bottles less. Okay, so, and in week 2 they had 3 bottles less than that, which would have been 19. And in week 1 they would have had 3 bottles less than 19, and that would be 16. And then we want to know, okay, where did they start, which would be your 0 point, and 16 minus 3 is 13. So they started with 13 bottles. Okay, and then you can go back the other way to make sure you do it right. But anyway, the answer is C. If you see it a little differently, and which is perfectly fine, one thing you could do is graph it. I did find it a little bit difficult to hit right at the 13 bottles. At the 0 point, you can see it. Let me make this bigger. Okay, so at 0, there was 13 bottles. And I basically, this is like, at 7 weeks, they had 34 bottles. And at 4 weeks, they had 25 bottles. So I knew 2 points make a line. I drew the line the best I could and ended up with 13. Okay? But the graph kind of illustrates, too, another thing you can do, and that is just use an equation. And we can use y equals mx plus b because they told us this is a linear relationship. And the slope ends up being 3. And you can find the slope by taking this number minus this number for the numerator, which is the y value, 34 minus 25, because the y is the rise, because it's vertical. And then the denominator would be 7 minus 4, and that's over you've probably heard rise over run, and that just means y over x. Okay, so I'm subtracting y's, subtracting x's, and I end up with 34 minus 25 is 9. Over 7 minus 4 is 3, which is, again, that 3 we came up with before. So now we've got that, and the only other thing we need to do is put in our 3 for our slope, And then just put in one of the values that we have. And I choose this one because the numbers are smaller, so it's easier to do. So 25 for y equals 3, and I'm going to do for x, I'm going to do 4. And then plus b. And 3 times 4 is 12, plus b equals 25. Subtract 12 from both sides, and we end up with 25 minus 12 is 13 equals b. Okay, again we get our 13. Okay, I hope this helps, and just let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.